I thought I knew what humiliation felt like. 32 years of marriage, you experience your share of uncomfortable moments, but nothing prepared me for what happened at my son's house last Thanksgiving when he seated me at table 12. Not table 1, where he sat with his wife Amanda and her parents. Not table 2, with Amanda's siblings and their spouses. Table 12, in the corner, near the kitchen door, with people I'd never met before. A folding table. "Dad," Marcus said, not quite meeting my eyes, "we're doing assigned seating this year, to mix people up, keep things interesting." I looked at the small card in my hand. Robert Chen, table 12. My wife Linda's card said table 7. We weren't even sitting together. "Mix people up," I repeated. "Yeah, Amanda thought it would be nice if everyone got to meet new people." He was already walking away, playing host, laughing with Amanda's father, Richard. Dick, everyone called him. Dick owned 3 car dealerships in Connecticut. He never let you forget it. I found table 12. There was Carol, someone's aunt from Florida, Jim, a neighbor Marcus barely knew, a couple named Steve and Diane who'd just moved to the street, and me, the father of the host. At the kids' table would have been more dignified. Linda caught my eye from across the room. She looked upset, but what could she do? Make a scene? That's not who we are. We're not those people. The dinner was fine. The turkey was dry. Dick gave a toast about family and tradition that somehow turned into a story about his newest dealership. Amanda's mother, Patricia, kept talking about their summer home in the Hamptons. Marcus laughed at all their jokes, agreed with all their opinions. I sat at table 12 and ate my dry turkey. But here's what Marcus didn't know, what none of them knew. For the past 18 months, I'd been working on something that started as a favor for an old friend and turned into something much bigger. Let me back up. I'm a software engineer, have been for 28 years. Not the sexy kind you read about in tech blogs. I don't work for Google or Facebook. I work, or worked until last year, for a company called Meridian Solutions. We built back-end systems for hospitals, database management, patient records, that sort of thing. Boring, stable, reliable. Like me, I suppose. I met Linda in 1991, married her in 92. Marcus was born in 93. We had a good life. A house in Westchester County, New York, good schools, family vacations. I made decent money, not rich, but comfortable. We weren't the Hamptons crowd, but we were fine. Marcus went to Fordham, got a business degree, got a job in a consulting firm. Then he met Amanda. Amanda came from money, real money. The kind of money where you don't talk about money because everyone already knows you have it. Marcus changed after Amanda. Little things at first, the way he dressed, the restaurants he wanted to go to, the way he started saying "we" when he meant Amanda's family. We're thinking of joining the club. We summer in the Hamptons. We, them, not us. Linda noticed too, but we didn't talk about it much. You don't want to be those parents, the ones who can't let go, the ones who complain their son's wife changed him. So we smiled. We went to the engagement party. We paid for half the wedding, even though Richard made it clear he could have covered it all. No, I'd said. We want to contribute. He's our son. Richard clapped me on the shoulder. Good man, Bob, good man. Nobody calls me Bob. My name is Robert. After the wedding, things got worse. Marcus and Amanda bought a house, a big house, in Greenwich, not far from her parents. Linda and I were invited for dinner maybe once every 2 months, always formal, always strained. Amanda would ask me about work with that polite disinterest people use when they're just being polite. Still with Meridian? She'd ask, already knowing the answer. Still there? That's nice. Stability is so important. Stability. Code for boring. Code for not ambitious. Code for not like us. But I loved my son, so I kept showing up, kept smiling, kept being good old stable Robert. Then, about 2 years ago, I got a call from Tom Bradley.
Tom and I worked together at Meridian back in the early 2000s. Good guy, smart. He'd left to start his own company, something in medical AI, and I'd lost touch with him. "Robert," he said, "I need help. Dig help." His company, Carestream AI, was developing an artificial intelligence system to help doctors diagnose diseases faster. Revolutionary stuff, potentially. But they'd hit a wall. Their system couldn't integrate with existing hospital databases. The architecture was wrong. They'd been trying for 8 months with 4 different engineering teams, burning through their funding. "I remembered you," Tom said. "You're the best back-end architect I've ever worked with. Can you take a look? Just consulting, few hours a week. I can't pay much, but I can give you equity." Equity. Stock in a struggling startup that probably wouldn't make it. Linda thought I was crazy when I said yes. "You're going to work nights and weekends for free?" she asked. "Not free. Equity." "Robert, we're not young anymore. You're 51. Don't you think it's time to just enjoy your job, enjoy life? Maybe we could actually take that trip to Italy we keep talking about." She wasn't wrong, but something in Tom's voice hooked me. And honestly, I was bored. I'd been doing the same type of work for 28 years. This was different. This was interesting. I started consulting for Carestream in March 2 years ago. Just evenings and weekends like I'd promised Linda. Tom showed me their system. It was a mess. Not the AI part. That was brilliant. But the way it connected to existing hospital infrastructure? Nightmare. The problem was that each hospital used different systems. Epic, Cerner, Meditech, dozens of others. Each one with its own database structure, its own APIs, its own quirks. Carestream's AI was trying to connect to all of them, and it was like trying to fit a square peg into 100 different shaped holes. I worked on it for 3 months, nights mostly. Linda would go to bed, and I'd be in my home office, coding, testing, rebuilding. She thought I was just doing extra work for Meridian. I didn't correct her. How do you explain that you're gambling your free time on a startup for no pay? In June, I figured it out. The solution wasn't to make Carestream's system flexible enough to connect to everything. That's what everyone had been trying. The solution was to build a universal translator, a middleware layer that could sit between Carestream's AI and any hospital system, translating in real time. I'd seen something similar once back in 2008 on a project for the VA, but this was more sophisticated. This used machine learning to adapt to new systems automatically. The more hospitals used it, the smarter it got. I built the prototype in 2 weeks. When I showed it to Tom, he didn't say anything for a full minute, just stared at his screen. "Robert," he said, "this works." "Should work," I corrected. "Needs testing." "No, I mean this works. This solves everything." He looked at me. "Do you understand what you've built? This isn't just for Carestream. This could work for any medical AI company, any healthcare software company. This is infrastructure." We tested it for 3 months. It worked, better than worked. It was fast, reliable, scalable. By October, Carestream had it integrated. Their system could now connect to any hospital in the country. In November, a year ago, they got FDA approval. In December, they signed their first 10 hospital contracts. That's when the real calls started coming in. Other medical AI companies wanted to license the technology, big ones, companies I'd heard of. Tom was fielding offers weekly, not for Carestream's AI, for my translator, my infrastructure. "We could sell it," Tom said, in January. "Just the translation layer, license it separately." "Spin it off?" I asked. "Maybe, or maybe we position Carestream as infrastructure instead of just AI. You built the foundation everyone needs. We could be the platform." Platform. That word made my heart beat faster. I'd spent my career building pieces of things, back-end systems, supporting infrastructure, important but invisible. This could be different. In March, we spun off the translation technology into a separate entity. Tom wanted to call it something technical. I suggested Bridge Health. Simple, I said. We bridge healthcare systems. By May, we had 12 companies licensing the technology. By August, 35. By October, the offers to buy us outright started coming in. Tom called me on a Tuesday. Sentinel Health Systems, biggest healthcare IT company in the country. They want to buy Bridge Health. For how much? He told me. I had to sit down. $480 million. Your share, Tom said, with your equity stake, would be $216 million. After taxes, you're looking at around $140 million, take or give. I sat in my car in the Meridian parking lot and stared at the dashboard for 20 minutes. $140 million. Linda and I had $340,000 in savings. We'd been proud of that. We'd worked hard.
Been careful. $340,000 was going to give us a comfortable retirement. $140 million was a different universe. I didn't tell anyone. Not yet. Tom and I were still negotiating. The deal wasn't final. And honestly, I didn't know how to tell Linda. How do you say, remember that consulting work I've been doing? The thing you thought was a waste of time? Well, the deal closed on November 18th, a Friday. Wire transfers happened on Monday, November 21st. On Wednesday, November 23rd, I went to my son's house for Thanksgiving, and he sat me at table 12. I didn't tell them that night. I sat at my folding table and ate my dry turkey and made polite conversation with Carol from Florida. I watched Marcus laugh at Richard's jokes, watched Amanda touch his arm, watched my son try so hard to be part of their world, and I felt something I'd never felt toward Marcus before: pity. After dinner, when people were having coffee and pie, Marcus pulled me aside. "Hey, Dad," he said. "Listen, I wanted to talk to you about something." "About the seating?" I asked. He looked uncomfortable. "No, I mean, look, Amanda thought it would be nice to, but that's not, He trailed off. "No, something else. Amanda's dad, Richard, he's looking to invest in a new dealership, expanding into Westchester. He asked if maybe you and Mom want to invest. Get in on the ground floor." Invest? Yeah, it's a great opportunity. Dick knows cars. It's basically guaranteed returns. He's thinking probably $200,000 minimum investment. $200,000? Our life savings. Most of it, anyway. "We'd have to think about it," I said. Marcus nodded, but I could see the disappointment. Sure, of course. It's just, Dick was saying this is the kind of opportunity that, separates the players from the... He stopped. "Anyway, just think about it." I drove home that night in silence. Linda was quiet too. "Table 12, she finally said. Table 12. I'm sorry, Robert. I don't know what's happened to him." I didn't either. Or maybe I did. Marcus had looked at his life, looked at Amanda's family, and decided that's who he wanted to be. And we, Linda and I, boring, stable Robert and Linda Chen, didn't fit into that picture. I decided I'd tell them about the money after the holidays. Give everyone time to cool off. Let Marcus enjoy his Thanksgiving where he got to play big shot in front of the in-laws. But something happened that changed my mind. The following Tuesday, Linda got a call from Marcus. I was at work. She called me, crying. "He uninvited us from Christmas this year," she said. "What?" "Amanda wants Christmas to be just immediate family this year. Her parents, her brother and his wife, and them. That's it." "We're not immediate family?" Linda was trying not to cry. "He said..." She paused. "He said, Amanda thought Thanksgiving was awkward, that you seemed uncomfortable, and it made everyone else uncomfortable. That maybe we needed some space to figure out if we could fit into their new life." Their new life. The one where my son sat me at table 12 and then decided even that was too much. I thought about the $216 million sitting in my bank account.
Money I'd been planning to tell them about. Money that would have made Marcus's jaw drop. Money that would have made Richard's car dealerships look like lemonade stands. And I made a decision. I called my lawyer that afternoon. I need to set up a trust, I said. A big one. I want it ironclad. On December 18th, I sent Marcus an email. Marcus, your mother and I have thought about your offer to invest in Richard's dealership. We've decided to pass. We've also decided that we're not stopping by on the 26th or any other time until you're ready to have a real conversation about respect and family. When you seated me at table 12, you made a choice about what kind of man you want to be. I hope someday you'll make a different choice. But until then, Linda and I will be building our own life, our own traditions. Love, Dad. He called 15 minutes later. I didn't answer. He called again and again. Finally, he sent a text. Dad, what's going on? Are you seriously this upset about seating arrangements? I thought you were more mature than this. I didn't respond. On December 23rd, the news broke. TechCrunch ran the story first. Sentinel Health acquires Bridge Health for $480 million in major healthcare IT deal. The article mentioned the founders, including me, including my payout. Marcus called 37 times that day. I answered on the 38th. Dad, his voice was shaking. I saw the news. I didn't know you were working on that. I didn't know. I know you didn't know, Marcus. That was the point. You never asked. In 2 years, you never once asked what I was working on. You just assumed boring old Dad was still shuffling papers at boring old Meridian because that fit your narrative better. Dad, please, I'm sorry about Thanksgiving, about Christmas, about all of it. Can we talk? We are talking. I mean, in person. Please, I need to explain. Explain what? Explain table 12? Explain disinviting your mother from Christmas? Explain asking me to invest my life savings in your father-in-law's car dealership when you had already decided I was too uncomfortable to sit with? Silence. Marcus, I'm going to tell you something and I want you to really hear it. That money, that $140 million that's all over the news, Linda and I are giving most of it away. We've set up a foundation, medical research, healthcare access for underserved communities. We're keeping enough to retire comfortably, maybe travel, maybe that Italy trip your mom always wanted. But the rest, it's going to people who need it. Dad, that's great. That's really great. We could help. Amanda and I could. Marcus, there's a trust for you. I set it up last week. $2 million. It'll be available to you when you're 55. 55? Dad, I'm 31. That's 24 years. I know how old you are. I was there when you were born, and I'll tell you the conditions. The money is yours if at 55 you can show me you understand what family means, what respect means, what matters. Dad, please, I made a mistake. I was trying to impress Amanda's family. I was trying to. I know what you were trying to do, and I understand it. But you're a grown man, Marcus. You made choices. Now I'm making mine. I hung up. Linda was in the living room. She'd heard everything. Was I too harsh? I asked her. She came over and hugged me. No, she said. You were exactly harsh enough. We spent Christmas in Vermont, just the two of us. Rented a cabin. Watched snow fall. Didn't check our phones much. Marcus kept calling. I answered once on Christmas Day. Hey, kiddo, I said. Dad. He sounded like he'd been crying. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I've been thinking a lot, and you're right. I've been an asshole. I got caught up in Amanda's world and forgot where I came from. I forgot who raised me. Marcus, let me finish, please. I don't want the money. I mean, thank you. The trust is generous, but that's not why I'm calling. I'm calling because I miss my dad. I miss my mom. And I'm sorry, really sorry. Not because of the money, because I hurt you, because I made you feel small, because I forgot that everything I have, everything I am, I owe to you and Mom. I believe him when I heard the sincerity in his voice, the crack in it. I believe you, but belief isn't enough right now. You need to show me, show your mother, not with words, with actions, with time. How long? As long as it takes. We hung up. That was 5 weeks ago. Marcus sends a message every few days. Nothing dramatic, just checking in. Hope you're doing well. Saw a cardinal this morning. Remember when we used to watch birds in the backyard when I was a kid? I'm reading again. Remember how you always pushed me to read? Linda responds sometimes. I don't. Not yet. Last week we got a card. Not an email. A physical card in the mail. It was addressed to both of us, in Marcus's handwriting. Inside, Mom and Dad, I don't expect forgiveness immediately, but I'm working on becoming someone who deserves it. Love, Marcus. P.S. No more table 12s, ever. Linda cried when she read it. We're leaving for Italy on
Monday. 4 weeks. Rome, Florence, Venice. The trip we always talked about. Before we go, I'm planning to call Marcus. Not to reconcile, not yet, but to tell him we're proud he's trying, that growth takes time, that we love him, and that when we get back, maybe we can have dinner at a table where everyone sits together. Because here's what I learned at table 12. Money doesn't make you better than anyone. Success doesn't mean you forget where you came from. And family, real family, isn't about who has the biggest house or the Hampton summer home or the car dealerships. It's about knowing your worth, respecting others' worth, and never, ever putting someone you love in the corner with the folding chairs. I thought table 12 was about humiliation. Turns out, it was about liberation. And that's worth more than $480 million.